welcome back to Critical Flick. Today we're going to be talking about Justice League.
So, Justice League is a culmination of all the previous DCEU movies. You're finally going to see all the heroes together. That's what everybody's been waiting for. I feel like this is like DC's Avengers. This is what they built the DCEU for.
Yeah, I was really excited for this movie. I'm a big DC fan. I've grown up with Batman my entire life, so I don't know. I have a love for them.
Yeah, I was pretty excited for this movie too. I was a little worried because, the DCU is kind of shaky, but then after seeing Wonder Woman earlier, the year, which I really enjoyed, I was so excited to finally see this movie come out and just have it out already. I mean, I feel like we've been speculating about this movie forever, and we don't know if it was going to be bad, if it was going to be good. There was chances it was going to be like really terrible, and there was all the turmoil with the production, and I'm glad it's finally out.
Oh, yeah, I am so happy it's out. It's been so speculated and talked about for months now, and it's here.
So, in the Justice League, you're having all your favorite heroes come together. Batman, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, Aquaman, Flash, and they're all coming together to fight Steppenwolf, who you saw in the trailer, who's trying to bring together this ultimate evil force to destroy the universe, your typical superhero stuff. And it's them bonding together as a team to take down this ultimate villain.
The villain was kind of blah in this movie. I don't know. I always just find it hard for villains to really stand out in superhero movies because Batman, to me, has the best villains, and then Superman has Lex Luthor, which they kind of ruined in Batman v Superman for me. So he was just there.
Yeah, I think that's one of the weakest parts of the movie. I think that the villain wasn't very great, and he kind of felt the same as the villain from Wonder Woman, Ares. It felt like a very similar look. It just looked like the same kind of rehashing of some big bad villain that's setting up something bigger. It didn't feel that great. You're obviously not going to have the level of something like the Joker or something like that. It didn't work great.
I absolutely loved everyone together, though. Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Aquaman, and Cyborg, they all worked really well together, and it created this whole team atmosphere, and it was just so cool watching them fight.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I think was the strongest part of the movie was the team coming together. I think a lot of people were worried about all these different characters coming together, introducing some of them pretty much for the first time in this movie. And they did a good job of kind of throwing you right into it without it being super duper rushed. You could tell it was a little rushed just because of the length of the film. But I was one of my biggest worries was that this was just going to be a mess of them being together and it just wasn't going to have any cohesive unity in the characters.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I definitely felt rushed in some parts, but I understood each character's background for the quick moment it is on screen, and you just dive right into the whole team atmosphere. You kind of gets you pumped for maybe other movies to come out in the future about each individual character, but yeah, I thought it worked out pretty well.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that it's almost like the reverse formula of something like what Marvel did, where you're having these standalone movies that are building towards this movie. I mean, we did a Man of Steel, and Batman v Superman, if you want to... I mean, that really didn't give you an origin for Batman, really. And then you had Wonder Woman, but you didn't have anything for Flash, anything for Aquaman, and the characters were thrown in, and I thought that while it was rushed to get them in the movie, wasn't a huge detriment to the film. So I feel like the biggest standout in this movie was Ezra Miller as the Flash, Barry Allen. I thought that he added some really good humor that is, as much as I like as dark as the Dark Knight movies are and as deep as DC can be, it needed some levity, it needed some comedy, and he really interjected that energy, that comedic energy into the movie.
Yeah, I thought he was really good as Barry Allen, and I also thought Jason Momoa as Aquaman was really good, and we always think of Aquaman and orange and teal jumpsuit outfit, and he brought an edge to Aquaman, and I'm really excited to see the Aquaman movie coming out in the future.
Yeah, I like the whole tough guy outsider thing they're going for with him.
I also thought Gal Gadot was really good as Wonder Woman. She is just on fire right now, and I'm really happy and glad to see her again in this movie, and I cannot wait for Wonder Woman 2.
Yeah, I liked her having more of a strong role, kind of carrying it over from Wonder Woman. She wasn't in the background like Batman v Superman. She was more of a forefront character, and you could tell she's taking a leadership role in the group.
Also, just put it out there, Ben Affleck, he does a good Batman job. He's not my favorite, but I really do enjoy an older Bruce Wayne.
So I'm going to be honest, I feel like Cyborg was one of the weaker characters in the movie. While he was kind of interesting and he had a little bit of depth to him, he did feel more like a plot device. He felt more like he was in it to do certain things. Like, I didn't feel like he was as much of a part of the team as the other characters. And he kind of was just like, okay, we need Cyborg to do this, and he can do this because he's part of something, so.
I, though, feel like I actually enjoyed Cyborg, and I actually feel like a lot of these big superhero movies, like the Avengers, the first one, and this movie, they always have like a character as a plot device. Like Hawkeye in the first Avengers, he was just kind of there. And I feel like it's more difficult to do a whole superhero thing together without creating something.
I don't know.
Like that.
Yeah, he did feel like this movie's Hawkeye, in my opinion.
Yeah,
he was there.
So it was really exciting hearing Danny Elfman do the score for this movie. If you don't know, he did the score for the original Batman 1989. And there are some little signs of Batman's theme song in there as well as somebody else. So it was really cool hearing the music. Also with Hans Zimmer's music. I really think it worked well together and I just loved it. It's like one of the best superhero soundtracks.
So the CGI in this movie it's pretty decent. I mean, I feel like I don't really see a lot of movies and I'm like, that CGI looks absolutely incredible, with the exception of maybe like Avatar or a movie like that. It's fine, because I feel like that's what most CGI looks like to me. It's fine, because it's CGI and you can tell it's CGI. But it wasn't terrible. I don't think it took away from the movie at all. I didn't feel like I'm watching a movie that's entirely green screen, even though it pretty much was. It didn't feel like that while I was watching it. And one of the big things that I thought helped this movie, I thought it had some really good action. In the beginning of the movie, probably the first, I'm going to say, third of the movie, I felt that it was kind of sputtering to get going. And then once all the characters got together and everybody was fighting and the action was going on, I thought it was really fun. I thought it was a really exciting movie, and it didn't feel boring. And that's something I was worried about, that it was going to be real long and boring. That's one of the reasons I don't really care for Batman v Superman, because it's pretty boring, let's be honest.
I disagree, but I think the action was really, really good in this movie. I love seeing each individual character show off their superpower stunt, because Batman doesn't really have superpowers, and it all just worked really well together to defeat the bad guy. I would give this movie a 7.5 out of 10. I actually really enjoy this movie. If you look at the scores right now, it doesn't look too hot, but I enjoyed it. I understand there are some flaws with the story, and it moves a little fast in some parts, but I really enjoyed all the superheroes coming together and fighting. They all played a magnificent role as their characters, and it was just a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm a little bit lower on the movie. Obviously not too low, though. I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. I thought it was pretty good. I think it is probably, for my money, the third best movie in the DCEU, because I still think Wonder Woman's the best. I liked Man of Steel just like a touch more than this one, just like a little bit. But I do think it's a good installment. I think it is getting a lot of pushback, which is kind of strange to me. I'll be interested to see what audiences think about it. But if you're a DC fan, I think it'll do justice to the Justice League, and I think you'll enjoy it. And I think maybe it brings over some other people, and I think it's a fun movie that's definitely worth checking out.
Spoilers!
Alright guys, so now we're going to talk about some spoilers, because there are a ton of things in this movie that I feel like people want to talk about, people want to know about. There's a lot that is left out from the trailers that really is I think it's kind of cool.
Hashtag Superman Returns. So you probably got from everybody and Henry Cavill showing up at the premieres. Superman does return in the film, and I actually thought it fit the story pretty well, even though it was a little crazy how he came back to life. But he just fits right in with the whole Justice League crew, and it's just awesome. Yeah,
I'm going to say, while I did like that Superman came back, it was kind of goofy that they brought him back in a similar way to how Lex Luthor was going to bring back Zod. They had
everything in that spaceship.
Yeah, it had that pool in the movie, and they had this. Yeah, they brought him back, and it was kind of the weird thing about him being brought back was when he first gets brought back, he's like, you don't know what's going on. He's kind of crazy, and then all of a sudden he sees Lois Lane, and then he's fine. Which
that makes sense though.
But they built it up oh my gosh, he's going to be evil when he first came back, and then he was just fine in 5 minutes.
He didn't like any of them.
Still, I think that could have been done. Well, if the movie was longer, I think that would have been more fleshed out.
Henry Cavill just brings back Smallville vibes for me, so I always enjoy seeing him as Clark Kent / Superman. He has that whole boyish smile, and it's really cool seeing him on the Kent farm and at the farm, and I love that.
I'm going to say, when Superman is at the end of the movie and he's just kicking ass, man, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty.
He's just like beating the crap out of Steppenwolf. And it's just awesome. Like, I feel like I didn't get to see that. I got to see him fly around and fight Zod and Man of Steel. And I feel like Batman v Superman did a little bit, but this was awesome. He's like punching him, shooting lasers, and even uses
blowing ice.
Yeah, he uses the frost breath. I thought that was one of my favorite parts of the movie, is him like showing up and like, I'm gonna kick this guy.
Yeah, he showed like every power, and you're just like, that's Superman. That's what I want to hear. And they play the Superman theme song. All right, there are 2 end credit scenes that I would say to stay for. I usually never stay for them because they're kind of Marvel ones kind of been slacking.
After that Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah, that was.
I know some people like that, but that was insulting to me.
But the one they show is Superman and the Flash actually starting a race.
It's like a funny little one.
Yeah, it's a funny one. And then the last one is actually the more important one.
Yeah. So yeah, at the very end, at the end of the credits, you have to sit through like, feels like 10 minutes of credits to get to it. You see Jesse Eisenberg isn't really in prison anymore. They walk into like the prison cell to talk to him, and Lex Luthor's out of the prison, and you see that he's on this yacht in the middle of this like ocean. And then you see this boat come up and it has Deathstroke on it, and that's just I think everyone's been speculating about Deathstroke, and you didn't know what was going on with him, if they were actually going to make a movie, if he was going to be in the movie. And then Lex Luthor says, you know, these heroes are putting together this league. He's like, maybe we should have a league of our own.
And maybe he'll tone down his acting in the next one. I hope, Jesse Eisenberg.
But it is going to be cool if we get a Legion of Doom against the Justice League. That would be
really cool, instead of like an alien from outer space. Yeah, I would really enjoy that.
Alright guys, remember to like and subscribe and let us know what you thought about Justice League. It seems like it's really mixed. I mean, I don't know. I'm interested to see what you guys think about it. And what is your favorite DC movie?
Or, video idea, should we compare what is the best Batman?
Alright guys, thanks for watching. And see you.
Bye.